just wanted to ask, do you find it really daunting growing up for your experiences growing up in Canada with everything to be an actor and knowing the roles were quite limited in
Yeah.
when you first started out compared to what it is now?
Yeah. That's a great question because I think, ignorance is bliss. Even though I didn't, it's funny how you don't realize that two things are sort of connected. So me not ever seeing any Asians in the media, positive role models, great heroes, stories, narratives, never registered to me that they weren't there because the parts weren't there for for the actors. For me, it was always, well, there must not be any really good Asian actors out there, so that's why. What and so blissfully ignorant and going into I want to be an actor, and finding that path for myself at a very late stage. Growing up, I never wanted to be an actor. Didn't want to be an actor. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to draw cartoons. I wanted to write. I wanted to do all these things, and I didn't discover my love for acting until university, to be honest. And even then, that was like I fell ass backwards into that and discovered that it was a craft. It wasn't something that you just pretend and learn the lines and say them a certain way. It's so much more than that. And so when I discovered that, I just fell in love with it. And I thought, this is challenging. It was creative. It was exciting. I sucked at it so hard. And it was just something that I really wanted to do. And so in a school environment, you're kind of shielded from that because everybody has to have a role and this and that. And I never got the lead roles in that either. But because I was so new at it, I was just happy to play any sort of part on stage. And then when it came to actually getting work, that was a whole other story. That was it was hard. It was hard. I gave up acting for a year because I didn't know how to get an agent. I didn't know what I needed to work in the profession because the university is awesome for academic stuff, but when it comes to real world applications, they're severely lacking as compared to some of the other colleges or other secondary schooling where they prepare you for a profession. University is very academic. So I could tell you about European theater history and different styles of acting over the centuries. But when it came down to, well, how do you get a job? I don't know. I had no idea. So there was that. And so getting into it was, I mean, I always say I was just too stupid and too stubborn to quit. So I just kept at it because it was something I wanted to do. And like a lot of young actors, you make compromises. You go, well, I'm never going to play a role like that. It's like, well, you can either not play it and starve, or you can get a credit under your belt, get some money, and move on. And you got to start from somewhere, right? Like you're not going to land a lead role fresh off. I mean, it happens, but that's a fairy tale, right? That's the Hollywood story that everybody wants to believe in and fall in love with. But the reality is, there's thousands and thousands of really super talented, hardworking actors who don't get a break and should deserve and would do fantastically well in a lot of these parts, but for whatever reason, they don't get that opportunity. So, yeah, I mean, starting off as an actor of color, you suddenly go, oh, these dreams of being a lead in a show or the best friend or great supporting part, they all evaporate fairly quickly. And at least for me, my track was, oh, I'm auditioning for another gang member or another doctor or another expositionary character or another, and very, very small roles, because that's kind of how we were seen.